Hey everybody, welcome to the chapter 4 walkthrough. Um, Again, on the walkthroughs, I'm just going to take you through the steps that are outlined in the textbook. So I have my QuickBooks file open for Wildwater Sports, and I'm in chapter 4 in my textbook. And after um, the chapter 4 opening page and then the overview, we're into a page that's called Services, Products, and Customers. And I'm starting in that section where it says to add new services, products, and customers to the Wildwater Sports Company, do the following. So, step one is to have a sign in, which I'm already signed in. Step two is to check reports and make sure our trial balance matches up, which we can definitely do. If our trial balance was good at the end of chapter 3, I thought that I saved mine trial balance. Well, I don't see it there. So if it was good at the end of chapter 3, it should still be good at the beginning of chapter 4, right? Um, I'm going to go ahead and do all dates, run reports, and yeah, it looks like it matches exactly. So that's a good sign. If you get off and they don't match up and you'd like for them to, let me know and I can go through and either I can meet with you and we can go through and get it all fixed up, or I can even just fix it up for you so you're starting from the right place. Remember, your grade for these walkthroughs isn't really based on getting all the numbers right. They're just meant for you to think of like a sandbox that you can play in and build castles and knock them down. And if it's not perfect, it's okay as long as you're learning the different tools in each chapter. But if you're feeling like, whoa, I'm so far off, and you need some help, let me know and I'll definitely help you get back on track. All right, so I'm on step 3 and it says click the gear icon and click products and services. So I'm going to click my gear icon over here, click products and services, and we're going to make some new products and services here. So that was step 4. We clicked, oh no, step 3. Step 4 is click new. And then we're going to click service for step 5. And we're going to make a service called cleaning. So that was step 6. We're going to check I sell this service to my customers. And we're going to put $500 in the price rate box. Oh, it also said to click service, but it's already showing there. For our income account, we're going to click. I thought we'd already created service revenue. Let me see. There it is. I'm going to choose service revenue as the income account, and then I'm going to click my edit sales tax and make sure it is a non-taxable one. So that was step 8. So on step 9, it says click the create new button, but there's no create new button. So what they're really telling us here is to hit save and new, or we could save and close. Because here's the problem with when I click save and new, it assumes I want to make another service. So I'm actually going to close out of it. Actually, I'm going to cancel out of that, which I think closing would have done the same thing. But and then I'm going to hit new because this time on step 10, I'm creating an inventory item. And the name of this is TIGE. That's Tiger without a R, 25ZX. That was step 11. Step 12, we're going to do 0. So this one, there is no initial quantity on hand. And we're going to type a date of 1120 or 2027. So, whoops. Step 13, we're going to call this inventory as our inventory asset account. It's a little confusing, but inventory. Step 14, we're going to use the same name in the purchasing and description boxes. So again, I just come up here and use copy or control C and then and control V or paste in these two. Keeps me from having to retype it. So that was step 14. Step 15, sales price. Woo, $225,000. That's a lot. And then 180,000 in our cost text box. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's telling us to put an as of date, but that would be up here in inventory. So I think that's a little bit confusing. Because there's not a place for a date here. Um, Step 16, select sales from the income box and cost of goods sold. So we already have that. In the expense box, we're going to edit our sales tax. Um, think we're already set on taxable. So I don't think we'd have to do any more. It says click taxable, then click select. Yeah, so we're good. We were already set as taxable. And then, so again, it doesn't tell us to hit save and close. It just goes to step 18, which is create new. But I'm going to hit save and close. And now I'm going to create a new, and this time, maybe I did something wrong here. Let's see. I think they're just showing us. So it tells us to click create new, but I think they're just trying to show us that here we can sort this by category here by clicking on it. And you can see like I don't have boat on the TIGE 25ZX. I may have missed that up here. Oh, yep, I did. See, it says select boats as the category. So I'm going to edit this. And then in category, I'm going to add boats and hit save. So I'm not sure why 18 told us to click the create new button and then click 19 is telling us to click the category title. But it is good to know that we can sort by any of these columns, right? So if we want to see all the boats together, we can see them. All right, 20 says click sales from the navigation bar, then click customers and click the new customer button. So I'm going to come up here. This is the navigation bar. I'm going to go to sales and then customers. And then it says to click the new customer button. So right there. That was step 20. And this is our customer whose name is James Rogers. His email, j.rogers@gmail.com. And then the phone number is 805-588-1234. Oh, it says to do that in mobile. Sorry. So I'm gonna put that in mobile. That was step 21. Step 22 is type performance rentals in the company name. And then it gives us an address 15, Highway 22, Orlando, Florida 32807 in the United States. Tells us to click save. This is step 23, by the way. And now it brings up all of James Rogers' information. Looks a little different in my video, mostly because it has this create invoice thing in the way, but it's very similar. All right. We can edit a customer once they've been created. In this case, step 24 is we're going to scroll down to the payment terms box and we're going to choose net 30, which means the customer has 30 days to pay us. That was step 24. We'll click save. Step 25. So this is just showing us what the customer window looks like. Again, it looks a little different. Um, Part of it's because we don't have any transactions, so they just have an advertisement in there. But anyway, that's what that looks like. 26 says to click dashboards. So dashboards is over here on the menu again. So now we added a new service, right? The cleaning service, and we added a new product, the new really expensive boat. I forgot what it was called, Tiger without an R. And we added a new customer. So those are three kind of new things that not completely new because we added products and services before, but three new things that they just had us add to our whitewater or wild water sports company. So we're going to move on now to the next page, which is doing sales receipts and invoices. So I'm on the sales receipts and invoices page, and the first section is called to add sales receipts and invoices to the Wild Water Sports Company. Do the following, and it tells us continue from where we left off, which we did. And now we're going to click new right here and sales receipt. So that's step 2. First thing we're going to do when we do a sales receipt is choose which customer. And in this case, we're choosing a customer that's not in the system yet. So we're going to hit add new. So now you noticed that we were able to add a customer directly before, or we can add one while we're adding the sales receipt. So we don't have to go back and add them and then come back to here. So this customer is Southtown Water Sports. And I think it's one of the strengths of QuickBooks that there's multiple ways to do things, but sometimes it can be confusing too. Let's see what else it tells us. Southtown Water Sports is the company's name for their payment terms. Instead of net 30 like the other one, these guys are due on receipt, meaning they need to pay us immediately upon us giving them whenever we're giving them. And then it gives us an address of 3333 Scott Futrell Drive, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28208. I'm going to click save. So that's nice. We can always just add a customer from right there. That was step 3. Step 4, we're going to change the date to 1/4/2027. Step 5, we're going to select check. and the reference number 6985. So we use a sales receipt when we sell something to somebody and they pay us immediately right then, right? So we're generating a sales receipt rather than an invoice, which is for when we sell something to somebody and they're going to pay us later. So that's important. Step six, we have to tell QuickBooks where the money is going to, okay, that we're getting paid, and we're going to choose payments to deposit. What that means is money we've received but haven't deposited yet. So that was step six. Step seven, we're going to record a Malibu Sportster LX on the first product and service line. I'm going to type a one in the quantity, which is already there. And now we can see that it's got the total amount. It's already figured out the tax for us based on what we set up a few chapters ago. And then the total amount that's due. In this case, there's no amount due, right? Because they're paying us right now with a check. So that was step eight. We don't have to, but it tells us to click see the math if we want to see how it broke down the sales tax. And so that's just letting you see that that's an option for you when you're using this in real life. You can see exactly how it calculated the taxes. We're going to hit save and close. And now we created our first sales receipt. So that's how we record that customer buying a boat and paying cash. So step 11, we're going to go to new. And instead of a sales receipt, we're going to create an invoice. This is where our customer buys something, but they're going to pay us later. We don't want to take a tour. We're just going to go to the invoice. So here's our little invoice form. So the first thing we're going to do is identify the customer. This is step 12. And the customer in this case is, didn't we add performance rentals earlier? Makes me wonder if I made a mistake and didn't add them correctly. So I'm going to check that out real quick. If I come over here, actually, if I just go to my um, sales and my customers, you can see I don't have performance rentals in there. So it's possible I entered them in as a vendor or something like that. So that's one of the things I like is like with QuickBooks is when you will make mistakes. Like in real life, you'll make mistakes, but you can always sort of figure them out when you go to do things. So if I go to up here to I can go look at my lists and I can see if I can find the right people um, and figure out what I did. So I think instead of looking in this list, though, I'm going to go just look um, and see if I can find contractors or vendors. Make sure I didn't add it as one of those. Hmm. So I'm not sure what I did, but I can't find performance rentals. So I'm actually going to pause this for a second and figure that out so you don't have to watch me look around and try to find my mistake. All right, I found my mistake. So I did enter Performance Rentals as the company name back when I was doing James Rogers. So I'm back on I found this by going to sales and then going to customers. But so I'm going to actually over here and I'm just going to, I don't want to create an invoice. I want to edit this customer. So there should be a way to edit the customer from here. Now I feel like I'm looking dumb in front of you, but maybe it's a good thing that you can see like even when you use this all the time, it's easy to be like, I still have to do this and still have to edit this. Um, and so it can get a little confusing. I usually go to the dashboard, I go to home, and then I go to customers from the home here. It's taking a minute to load. And these widgets are set up different than the one I have set up for my company. So you can kind of customize all these little widgets here. Um, and so that's usually how I go to mine to edit a customer, but I'm not seeing a real easy way to do that. And then when I go to customers here, I just, I guess, just didn't click on it like I thought I had. And then we can hit edit. So what had happened is when I entered them, um, it instructed me back on chapter 22, I mean, step 22, to put performance rentals as the display name. So you can choose whether you want to go by the person at the company that you contact or by the name of the company or whatever. And so that was my mistake. Um, and let's see. Then I hit save. So now when I go to new and invoice, if you remember, that's where we were, which was back in the sales receipts and invoices section. And it was step number, let's get us back to where we were. 12, right? I have to, now I can select performance rentals. We're going to type net 30 into the terms, which is already there. And we're going to put a date of 1/6/2027. It's going to automatically figure out the due date based on the terms of net 30. And now we can start to put our products or services in. So we're going to do a Malibu Sportster LX. And we'll type 1 in the quantity column. And we're going to do a Malibu Sunset LX. And there'll also be a 1. So that's steps 14, 15, and 16. We're going to make sure they're both checked as tax, what they are. And now we can see that there's a total of 112,000 plus the tax is an automatic calculation. We can see the math if we want to. Shows you how it calculated the tax. And it should look like that, 118,770. And again, I feel like this isn't always giving great. There it is. We're going to hit save and close. And we've saved the invoice. Again, that means we sold those boats to the customer and now they're going to pay us within 30 days. Step 18, it wants us to record an invoice for services. So we're going to go back up to new. I'm going to go to invoice. And step 19, we're going to add a new customer. So again, we can always add new customers from any of these drop downs. And the customer is Florida Ski School. I think if I had a company called Florida Ski School, I'd probably spell school with a K just to be cool. But that's probably why I don't have a company because there's nothing cool about that. Let's see. Payment terms are net 30. Again, that just means when customers when we invoice customers, they have 30 days to pay us. That's step 20. Step 21 is the address 10900 Chase Road. Oh, wait. Windermere, 34786. We'll hit save. We will date the inventory as January 10th, 2027. And then looks like we're going to invoice them for diagnostic service. Quantity 4. So $2,000. Hmm. There shouldn't be any tax on this, which makes me wonder if when I set it up, I messed it up, right? And should have marked it as non-taxable. So I'm actually, again, you don't have to, we're just messing with things here, but I'm actually going to cancel out of this and I'm going to go check my products. Remember, I would do that by going to products and services and check my diagnostic service, which because it's a service, you can see I have it at taxable. So that means I made an error when I was setting it up. I'm going to change it to non-taxable. And now when I go back and create that invoice for the ski school, 110, and I put in diagnostic services, you'll see that there's no sales tax. So again, you can often have opportunities to sort of see where you've made a mistake in setting things up in the past. We'll hit save and close. So that was up through steps 24. We go to sales and we go to all sales and see a list of all the sales we've made so far. Wait a minute. Did I make another mistake with this one? Let me go back. I'm going to edit because my quantity was supposed to be 4, wasn't it? All right. Now I go to sales, all sales, and I can see a list of my sales. It should match up with, let's see, 2000, 118,7, 551, or 55, 145, and 70,000. You can see mine's in reverse order because it's sorted by date in the other direction. If I click it like that, now it'll look exactly the same. The only one that's paid is the one that was a sales receipt. The one from Refugio was on a journal entry when we set things up, money owed to us from before us setting it up in QuickBooks. And these other two are the new invoices we just entered. So that's all the way through step 25. So I'm going to click on next page of the book, take us to cash receipts, and it's going to show us how to record cash receipts. So step 1 is to continue from where we left off, which is where we're at. And then step 2 says click on the new icon and we're going to put receive payment. So this is when a customer comes in and pays us cash. And in this case, it looks like Refugio is going to be paying us some. So we're going to select our customer. And if you think about it, that's what we're doing each time is we're saying who's, when we do these things, we're just telling QuickBooks who's paying us or who's going to owe us money. So the date is going to be 1/12/2027. How are they paying us? By check. We're going to deposit the cash to payments to deposit. Let's see, it doesn't give us a check number. So that was step 5. Step 6, place a check in the journal entry number 3 box. So they're paying us for this journal entry, which was the money that was owed before we started tracking things in QuickBooks. That'll show that they're paying us $70,000. It should be coming from that accounts receivable. And then we'll hit save and close. So that was step 6. So step 7, it says recall that when the 2 payments above were received, they were recorded to an account entitled payments to deposit. Now it's time to deposit one of those payments. So we're going to actually take the money that we have collected from the customers and we're going to go deposit it in the bank. So we're going to go up to new and then we're going to go to bank deposit here under other. We're going to tell it which account for the account we're depositing into, which is going to be our checking account. We're going to use the date 1/12/2027. And the one we're going to deposit is this one from Southtown Water Sports. So I'm just going to click on the check mark there. And then we hit save and close. And so that's just like telling QuickBooks this check that we had sitting there at our business, we're now depositing it in the bank. And it's going to take that out of payments to deposit and put that into our checking account. Now in the textbook, I'm switching to the next page, trial balance and transaction detail by account. And this lets us run the report and make sure we did everything right. So I'm going to go to my reports here on the navigation bar. That's step 1. Actually, step 2. See, it says go. I went to the custom reports lab and I thought for sure I saved it earlier, but I didn't. So I'm going to type in trial balance. If you've done it right, it'll be saved there for you. Like I said, I like using all dates, but you can also put in the dates that are here in the textbook. I'm going to run the report. And then I'm going to compare my trial balances or my trial balance and see if it matches. And if it does, it means I've done everything correctly. Hooray. If it doesn't, it means I've made a mistake somewhere. Again, the grade isn't based on whether you've got everything correct. It's based on working through these things and understanding it. But if you're like, no, I want my trial balance to be right and I can't figure out how to do it, let me know and I'll help you. So we got our trial balance. It's correct. Step 7. Oh, I'm going to actually save this and see if. So I'm going to save customization. So hopefully it's there next time. It wants us to run a different report. We're going to do reports. Apparently, we also don't have that one saved. So I'm going to do I'm going to find another one. Just transaction detail by account. And right now there's nothing here. So we're going to come up to, I'm going to just do all dates again. And now you can see all of the different transactions that I've entered listed by account. So that's the transaction detail by account. It tells us to click save customization, but that's not an option here. So now we do save. as, and that'll save it to our custom reports. If we switch to classic view, it will still have the save customization button. This is a new update again. And then we print this. I actually liked it since you don't need to waste paper. You can just save it as a PDF, right? And upload it as part of your assignment. And that's it. So hopefully chapter 4 was pretty manageable. It was pretty close, just following along the book, which means I think we've worked through most of the updates by Intuit. The report looks a little different. There's a few other little things, but overall, it's still taking us through all the functionality. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope it will be helpful as you move on to the case assignment for the chapter. And I hope you have a great day.